Hey everybody, Daddy Phantom here, and haven't really uploaded in a while. Been kind of busy with school as of late and exams that are coming up, so I got a lot of papers to write also, so that's really a pain in the ass. However, I will try to keep at least one video a week. Probably not two, can't promise two, but one is probably going to be uploaded once a week. So here's a battle that I had with Frankie from over on Discord not too long ago. This is kind of a rematch that we've had. On the first game, he literally just swept the ground with me like a fucking mop. It was disgusting. I'm not really used to the overused tier in Pokemon that much since I haven't played all too much, but you know, I'm trying to get back into it, so this game is actually a lot better than the last one. So I'm not even gonna bother uploading the last one because it was really pathetic on my part. Either who, enough fucking blabbering, let's just get right into the battle. So I decide to lead out with my fluffy little bunny as Greninja decides to come out for Frankie, which is in all honesty the best thing that I could have asked for since I am scarfed and I will definitely survive a water shuriken if it were to come out. However, it does not, and Hey Arnold comes out, who will get a nice return right in his face, which does about half. And so now Hey Arnold actually decides to stay in as I go for another return since I am choice scarfed and get a nice lead right at the beginning of the battle, which is awesome. So already my fluffy little bunny putting in a shit ton of work as Azumarill comes out. And now this Azumarill is a huge problem to my team. I really don't have too much to deal with it. However, I thought that Ferrothorn could do a decent job. However, that superpower was definitely not expected. I really didn't think that this Azumarill would carry the superpower, so that really fucked me in the ass right there. The Iron Barb's gonna do a little bit of damage, and the Rocky Helmet definitely hurts a little bit. However, I really can't keep this Ferrothorn in, and I kind of wanted to save it as Death Water for later. So I decided to throw up my bubbles, get that nice Intimidate off, and since I am Flying type, I will resist it just a little bit, which, you know, 3/4 health is not that bad on my Gyarados, so that's not too bad. Now that Azumarill was probably locked into superpower, because Azumarills usually are scarfed or banded, I decided to Mega Evolve up in here and throw off a nice attack. Now for some reason I chose to Mega Evolve and throw off an Earthquake instead of a Crunch for some reason. I'm not exactly sure what I was predicting. However, I go for the Earthquake, which does actually a decent chunk on Venusaur, taking it about to half, which is awesome, because that Venusaur is a fucking threat to my team also. So now I decide to go into Ferrothorn, not wanting to take a Giga Drain, and because also I definitely wouldn't be able to take out this Venusaur with another Earthquake, since these guys, when they Mega Evolve, are just super tanky. However, this Venusaur plays it rather nicely, goes for the Synthesis, which really sucks, because I put a lot of effort in order to get it down to half. So my Ferrothorn goes down, doing fucking shit nothing, not even setting up spikes, which really sucks. However, who plays Superpower Azumarill? That shit's kinda cool. Maybe I should. God damn it, I'm getting distracted again. I sent out my Raichu in order to get a nice Psychic off on this Venusaur. However, this switch happens, which I really should have predicted, but I didn't. Either who, this Rem comes out, and Latias is a big threat to my team. Now, here, in all honesty, I should have gone out to my Muck, but for some reason I didn't make the switch, and maybe I didn't want Muck very low. However, Muck was Assault Vested, and he could have taken that so much nicer than my Landorus. So I get that, I actually take that decently enough, and by the looks of it, it looks like I could probably take another one as this Latias just recovers a bit more health with its leftovers, and I'm pretty close to half. So I decide to stay in as this Latias goes for another Draco Meter with -2 special attack, which means that I would live it, just like I did right there, and I go for the Stealth Rock instead of the U-turn. Now, why I didn't go for the U-turn, I'm not exactly sure either, since I definitely could have had another lead here. So I screw up pretty much in two ways here. I really should have thrown out Muck instead of Landorus, and I really should have gone for a U-turn. However, I didn't. So now knowing that this Latias is at fucking no special attack, I decide to switch out into my Raichu, who can now take out this Latias no problem, or at least take damage from it and take it out in a turn or two. So, you know, I'm not scared. So that Raichu's chilling out here. However, the Snuffy comes out and I go for a Volt Switch, which is actually unaffected due to the Mamoswine being ground type, which really sucks. So I send out my bubbles, get that nice Mold Breaker ability, which is fucking useless, as this guy sets up for a Stealth Rock, pretty much predicting that I am Scarfed or Choice Spec'd. So he throws a bunch of rocks in my face and I really can't do much about it, but I do crunch up on this Snuffy just a little bit, get a bit of taste of the swine before I get Earthquake right in the face, which actually does land a critical hit and is able to take me down, which really sucks. I'm not exactly sure if that crit mattered. I don't think it really did, however it might have. Who cares now since the battle is over, so I mean let's just all forget about it, and I just throw out my Raichu to pretty much finish off this Stuffy as this switch happens, and Frankie pulling some crazy switches, and for some reason I just didn't see it, you know. I was like, well, Frankie's gonna switch like literally every time, but he's not gonna switch this time, so I go for the Focus Blast and literally do no damage to this Lottie, who's just been messing with me real bad. Like Frankie's switches have been real good this battle, and it's something that's really screwed me over during this whole battle. So now I send out my property, get that useless Intimidate off, as this Lottie is pretty much able to finish me off with the Psyshock. Now why again I didn't go into my Muck, I don't know. I really don't know. I have an Assault Vested Muck, it's right there that I can switch into it, but I was like, meh, you know, I'll save it for later. I don't know what I was saving for. Either who, Mr. Fluffle comes out, and that knockoff is gonna pimp slap this Lottie out of this Wi-Fi battle right there. So I think this is the point of the game where Frankie was finally like, you know what? Fuck this bunny. I hate bunnies. So my bunny putting in a lot of work. However, now I do have to make the switch since I am locked into knockoff, and my Muck is just such a better choice here. So now I finally send out my Muck as the Giga Drain comes out and literally does nothing since I am Assault Vested. And you know, before I can throw off an attack, this Venusaur decides to be a dick, and Frankie goes for the Sleep Powder here. Holy shit, someone's doing repairs in my home. So I'm too lazy to re-record this section of the battle, so you'll just have to stay with me as I experience difficulties, as I usually do. So as the Mamoswine comes out, I predict that, and I decide to make a nice switch into my Raichu, which is a pretty good prediction on my part. And now instead of going for the Psychic or Focus Blast, I just actually make the prediction that Greninja might come out, and I go for the Thunderbolt. Now in all honesty, I could have just thrown out a nice Focus Blast, but I mean, I don't know, that move on Frankie's I really didn't understand. But either who, Azumarill comes out, goes for the nice Aqua Jet, which is actually able to take me out, and that really sucks. I believe that was a high roll on his part, but what can you do? So now that Azumarill is out Aqua Jet and up in here, I send out my Muck, who really isn't all that defensive, but you know, especially defensive, and am actually able to wake up and throw a nice Poison Jab in this little mouse face and get it poisoned. Now it really isn't all that lucky for me to poison this guy, since I think the rate at which I can poison with my Poison Touch and just Poison Jab chance of poisoning is at around 55%, I believe. So now Snuffy comes out, goes for a nice Ice Shard. I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't go into an Earthquake, but it doesn't. And I get a Fire Blast off, which literally does nothing. This guy is just, Mamoswine's big. I don't know what I'm trying to say with it, but he doesn't take no shits from Fire Blast, and you know, I only have one Pokemon left, which is my Mr. Fluffle, and instead of going for a Quick Attack, I go for a Return, since the only chance of me beating Frankie would be with pretty much a critical return on this Venusaur, and I mean, that wouldn't matter either. So that's pretty much the battle. A bunch of bad switches on my part, and I mean, my team was kind of lacking in a few other departments, but it's nice to battle once more. Really have been picking up on the battling, so I hope you guys enjoyed this, and you know, like and subscribe if you can. Peace out.